Hello everybody and welcome back once again to my F1 23 My Team career mode. Now we've got this glitch where the contract renewal is before the end of the season, so we had to sign our Season 2 driver before the beginning of Season 2. But anyway, we have decided to go for Dennis Hauger as our Season 2 teammate, and he will be our teammate throughout the entire of Season 2. But look at the driver lineup changes, and I assume now this is the lineup for Season 2. We've got Nick De Vries moving to Aston Martin. Also looking up, we've got Oscar Piastri and AlphaTauri, Albon moving to Haas, Magnussen going to McLaren, Lance Stroll moving to Mercedes. That's an interesting move. So there's a lot of change, and Lewis Hamilton has officially retired, and we will see soon who takes the other Williams slot in replacement of Albon. But it's time to qualify for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. This is your Season 1 finale, and my only hopes here is that I can end the season on a high note. It's been a very decent season. We've got a good handful of points this year, and we even managed to bag a win, which I'm very chuffed about. Realistically, should have been 2, but obviously we got screwed over by the red flag glitch, where it was showing the incorrect results, taking into account the results from the red flag. That has now been patched. It should be showing the correct results at the end of the race now, so that's good news that we shouldn't encounter that again. I still feel robbed though, but still, 1 win and a handful of decent results all throughout the season. Not too shabby, I will accept it. But let's see if we can get one more good result here. First things first, let's qualify, and that first Q1 lap is very strong, so we should not need to go out again, and in fact that put us in the top 5, so we're looking very strong from qualifying here. Let's have a look then at who the Williams driver is, and it's Liam Lawson. So Liam Lawson has been drafted in by Williams to do the job that Albon had, and let's see how well he fares. So Lawson is now your Season 2 Williams driver, and as I was doing my flying lap in Q2, this happened. Really not what I would have wanted, and we have thermal damage, and we are out at Q2. So we've got it all to do in the race. Barring penalties, we should be, I'd imagine, P16. But again, like I said, it all depends on who has grid penalties. But there you have it. We are out at Q2. Let's see what we can do in the race.
It's time then for one final race in this year's Formula One World Championship. 2010 saw 4 drivers in contention for the title coming into this race, with Sebastian Vettel prevailing to become the youngest world champion to date. Is there one last sting in the tail awaiting us today? Well, it's time to find out, here at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The drivers will be racing here at the Yas Marina circuit through 16 corners and a lap distance of around 3.28 miles. There are a few opportunities to pass with long straights and DRS zones in 2 places, so plenty of close racing, then plenty of speed and plenty of drama to be found in the laps ahead. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Russell, Ocon, Bottas, Joe, Verstappen, Sparkles, De Vries, Fernando Alonso, Liam Lawson, Gasly, Tsunoda, Hauger, Stroll, Norris, Albon, Magnussen, Oscar Piastri, Sainz, Hülkenberg, Sainz. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And the last few races have been a bit rough for them, unable to get a clean run. That's got to have some effect on their confidence, surely.
Certainly confidence is an important factor.
on the grid for one last time in Season 1 then. The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix is underway. Leclerc gets away well. Perez, is he going to be able to have a look up the inside? No. This time Perez will have to settle. And look at the gap Leclerc's got already. His intentions are to just stretch away and disappear into the distance. On goes Leclerc in the lead. Switching to our POV. Thanks to penalties, we are up to 8th. Let's get this final race underway then. It's a good start by us. Bottas didn't get away too well, but he's now moving over to cover. Are we going to be able to get down the inside of the Alfa Romeo? No, and Verstappen's turned in on me there, so we might have a little bit of damage to the Red Bull. But for now, we're tucking in into P7 behind Bottas, and Zhou is up to P5. All thanks to the grid penalty, so both the Alfa Romeos really high up the order. And up the inside, Alonso's having a look, but I'm going to use overtake. I'm going to use DRS. Going to cover Alonso. Going to brake late. Braking too late. I'm going to have to scamper across the chicane there. But I'm going to go super slow so I can let everybody back through who I overtook illegally. Right, back onto the rear of Bottas. Are we going to be able to do anything into the left-hander? No. But we've got two Alfa Romeos ahead of us. We've got Max Verstappen having another look there. But he's not able to make anything of it there. If we go a bit wide and onto the curbs, that is not the line to take through there. Lap 1 here in Abu Dhabi. Now moving on to lap 2. Can we get past Bottas this time? He's getting backed up a little bit here, and Perez seems to be holding this little train up. So let's get after them, as Perez got a little bit of a problem brewing maybe. Esteban Ocon's having a look at him. Bottas is having a look at Zhou. Where do we go? Are we going to find some room down the inside? Yes, we are. Braking very late, but oh dear, we've clipped Perez! And we've got front wing damage. And that is the last thing I wanted to do. Just a little bit of a careless move down the inside. And I now have front wing damage. I'm going to try and retake Zhou Guanyu down the inside, but we go straight deep. And I've gone off the circuit. We have front wing damage. That is so careless. And look at this. Liam Lawson up into P6. The Williams driver's just flying round here. He is loving life. In his debut Grand Prix, Liam Lawson fighting Zhou Guanyu for P5. Charles Leclerc setting a fastest lap. He's disappeared into the distance. Oh my days though, we have made such a mess up of this race, and I'm going to try and run as long as I can on this wing, but look at the understeer we have. Although we're still able to catch Zhou Guanyu. Are we going to have a look round the outside? Yes, we are. We're going to try and take P6 back. We do take P6 back, but he's still on the inside, and I'm understeering like a mother trucker, and Zhou Guanyu should hold the place, although we bang wheels with him there. I'm trying to hold the inside line. Zhou Guanyu's forced deep there, but he still holds the position, and we are down to 7th. And in the end, I've just decided, you know what? Discretion is the better part of valour. I'm into the pits. So a new front wing, and we're just going to push as hard as we can to see if we can get a neat little undercut. We've got medium tyres going back on, so let's just drain the life out of these tyres. And then pit in again, full hard to take and try and get an undercut, because a lot of drivers are out of position in the top, near the top, meaning they're all going to be fighting each other. So there is time to be gained here. It's not all done and dusted yet. So back onto the circuit, trying to get a bit of heat into the tyres. And we've got Alonso behind me. I don't really want to waste too much time fighting him, but look, there is Liam Lawson in P5, doing a sterling job in his debut. Zhou Guanyu in P6, and then there's Valtteri Bottas in P7. Nick De Vries in the Alfa Romeo running in the Aston Martin running in P8. A stunning job by the Dutch driver. De Vries finally showing he's got some muscle. So here he comes now. Is he going to have a look down the inside of Valtteri Bottas? Not quite here, but here comes the next lap, and he's going to have to do something, because Bottas has got past Zhou, and Carlos Sainz has made a double overtake work there, and now De Vries and Zhou are side by side. Who's going to brake later? I think it's going to be De Vries, but Zhou hanging out round the outside and just holding on to the position there. making Nick De Vries have to work for this one. De Vries backs out for now. Is he going to be able to find a way through into the next part? No, and through goes Pierre Gasly. So Gasly's gained a couple of places out of that whole thing. Wow, what a battle we are seeing here. Carlos Sainz now getting past Liam Lawson and is looking to take Sergio Perez as well. Round the outside he goes, and Carlos Sainz completing another double overtake. Carlos is on the move here, and we are into the pits to try and get that undercut. So we spent a few laps out on the track going super quick. Now we're going to try and undercut the guys in front because they're all still battling, and where they're battling they're going to be losing time, so we can potentially gain a bit of time here. Let's see what we can do. It's time to push like hell for a couple of laps and just see what kind of undercut we can muster up. Bottas a few seconds ahead of us now, but this is it. This will determine how the rest of our race goes now. And in fact, it's gone quite well. This undercut has worked a treat, because where we've ended up is right behind Liam Lawson in P9. So this has worked out a treat for us. We're just ahead of Nick De Vries as well, so that's really worked out quite nicely for us. I'm really pleased with how well that has worked for us. Are we going to be able to stay with the Williams though? They've got 5-lap tyres that are 5 laps newer than ours, should I say, and so too has Nick De Vries. So it's going to be difficult to catch and hold them back, I think, because the tyre life in this game really shows. And look at that, Lawson getting away on those much fresher tyres, and De Vries going round my outside there. I kind of let him go to see if we could retake him on the DRS, but look how far he's got ahead on traction alone. So De Vries using the advantage of those newer tyres, but we're going to come back in and we're going to try and go around the outside. De Vries holding the inside line. We've got the move done, but unfortunately we've gone very deep onto the curb, and Nick De Vries just says thank you very much, I'm having that back, sunshine. And De Vries moving up into P7, but we're still in the top 10, we're still in P8, so let's see if we can hold the rest of the pack back now, because these two guys are too quick for us. They've got the advantage of fresher tyres, they are too quick. Let's try and hold P8. That's going to be our target for this race. It's going to be very, very difficult, but we're going to give it a best shot as we come up to the end of lap 17. Lap 20 now, and Lance Stroll has caught me, and I'm starting to struggle a little bit with the tyres. And Stroll right behind me. His tyres are super fresh. Here we go then. Oh, we've gone a bit deep, and Stroll's forcing his way up the inside and pushing me. And that is front wing damage as we collide nose to nose. Through goes Perez, through goes Norris. Tsunoda not quite able to make it through, but now I've got DRS on both Perez and Norris. Down the inside of Norris we go. Perez is having a look at Stroll. Can I take both of them? It's going to be a very late braking move. It was only supposed to be Stroll, but we braked so late and punched Perez out of room. That is such a bad overtake. It's all in the name of end of term fun though, trying to get those points to end the season on a high. Lawson and De Vries are gone at this point, so they should be safe in their retrospective positions. But wow, we are just losing so much time, and now we have front wing damage again. Meanwhile, here comes De Vries on Lawson, and Bottas holding on to P5. His tyres are quite old too. 3 wide heading into the chicane. Who's going to come out ahead? Will it be De Vries or Lawson? Nick De Vries going for the position. Lawson trying to force his way back into this. And I think Lawson is going to get the better run. Liam Lawson up to 5th. But here comes De Vries again. Round the outside. Is the Dutch driver going to be able to complete the move all the way around the outside? You're going a long way round there. But De Vries up into P5 for Aston Martin. And that is a strong debut. And in the end, after losing a couple of positions unseen, I decided that was that. I'm just going to pit in for fresh tyres and a new front wing and try and get fastest lap. Not that it's going to come with any points, but it's going to come with pride. Verstappen also getting caught out by me holding the pack up, and I think had a collision with someone else. Not quite sure who, not seen by us. But we now resume to the we resume our race, and Carlos Sainz on the final lap, still going on a charge. He's going after Esteban Ocon on the last lap. He is going to deprive the Alpine driver of a podium. Ocon will have to settle for 4th. But for us, it's not the way we wanted to end the season. After taking wing damage early on, having to pit early, and then we took wing damage trying to hold on to a points position, it's going to be P18 and a disappointing end to the season for us. But Charles Leclerc showing how he intends to go into Season 2 by winning the final race. For us, however, one to forget.
It's been a roller coaster season, but they can go into the winter with their heads held high after an emphatic victory here today. Well, Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again. Our championship leader is still sat at the top of the standings.
That's it then. That is your lot for Season 1, and all I can say is, what are these results? Is this an omen for things to come in Season 2? God, that'd make things interesting, wouldn't it? But it's Leclerc dominating the race, untouchable. Then it's Russell and Sainz who stole the podium on the final lap. Ocon and De Vries rounding out the top 5. Nick De Vries having a rocket ship in the car. And then we got Bottas, Lawson, Tsunoda, Gasly and Perez, your final point scorers. And Dennis Hauger, 12th on debut. Impressive, but it would have been nice if he could be in the points. There's your final standings then. Max Verstappen winning out. George Russell getting second over Perez on countbacks. Leclerc in 4th. Hamilton's final season, he finished in 5th. Sainz is 6th. Alonso 7th. Then it's myself in 8th, having a very decent season indeed. Then it's Norris, Ocon, Gasly, Stroll, Magnussen, Piastri in 14th. Albon ahead of Nick De Vries. Tsunoda, Bottas, Lawson getting those points on debut, and your final point scorer for this season is Zhou Guanyu. And neither of our teammates were able to score this season. Neither were Nico Hülkenberg or Logan Sargent. So that's a surprise to see that Hülkenberg wasn't able to score any points. And in the Constructors, Red Bull winning out quite comfortably in the end. From Mercedes, Ferrari in 3rd, Aston Martin in 4th. Pretty much the order for most of the season with the Constructors. Alpine were 5th, McLaren 6th, and we are in the top 8 by finishing 7th. Then it's Williams, Haas, Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri finishing last. Right, here is your calendar for Season 2 then. Gone is Baku, but we have China as round 4. We start in Bahrain, then it's to Saudi, Australia, China, Miami, Imola, Monaco, Spain, Canada, Austria, Silverstone, France. Welcome back to the calendar, France. Spa, Netherlands, Monza. Singapore is out for Season 2. We are waiting for the patch that will bring the 2023 version of the circuit. So until then, we won't be running Singapore. And then it's Japan, Qatar, Texas, Mexico, Brazil, Portugal, Las Vegas, before finishing out in Abu Dhabi. And here is our livery for Season 2. I hope you like it. We will be taking a short break between now and Season 2, so join us when we commence it. But until then, TTFN guys, ta-ta for now, take care,